Hello everyone, it is B2B Sales Community Sales Club. It is glad to be here at Pardavimų Formula and to have our speaker Matthias Schranner. He is founder and CEO of Schranner Negotiation Institute and also former policeman and right now negotiator. So very shortly, how you decided to go from police to negotiations?
I saw there's a need for difficult negotiations in business and in politics. And I was wondering that no one is using all the experience and the knowledge from FBI, from law enforcement, from the police. Because at the police department, you negotiate in a deadlock every day.
Okay.
And then you know how to handle it. And I was really surprised that in the business, like in sales departments, they have no idea what to do if they're under pressure.
When we talk about negotiation, so what are the conditions that negotiations should start?
If you realize there's a conflict, then you need to start a negotiation. So a negotiation is always based on two elements. It's a conflict, so we have different positions, and it's a so-called dependent situation. So if you need me and I need you, then we have to negotiate. If you don't need me, there is no reason for negotiation. And this is why it's always a conflict in combination with dependent. Then you have to negotiate.
You also talked about preparation. So what are the key elements for the preparation for the negotiations, or what is your to-do list? Or
I would say there are three main topics. Number one, you need a clear target. So what do you want to achieve? And the target is to get the deal. It's not to convince them, because they are already convinced. You need to negotiate the price, a better price for them. That's the target. The second one is you need to prepare demands, not arguments. Because if they start a price negotiation, they are convinced, otherwise they wouldn't talk to you.
Yeah.
So you don't need arguments, you need demands. So what do you want? Higher volume, you want to use IP rights, whatever, so demands. And you need to prepare for the end. You need to make sure that your negotiation partner can save his or her face. So you need what I call firefighter uniform. You need to make sure that your negotiation partner can leave the situation saving the face.
And during your presentation, you said that win-win situation never happens so often, you know. And there is a situation that you are like weaker part or smaller company. Just imagine selling to Lidl, Aldi, Walmart.
Yeah.
So how to prepare for such negotiations? And your opponent understands that you are weaker, and you understand that you are weaker. So how is in this case?
I don't agree. If Lidl or Walmart, if they negotiate with you, they are bigger as a company. However, they need you. Otherwise, they wouldn't talk to you.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a supporter of feeling stronger or weaker. I just say, okay, if someone wants to negotiate with you, then you're on eye level. So don't think about the power, just talk to them.
But if they push?
Push back?
Push back, yes. This
is difficult in counter three.
You also mentioned about the team. How it's important to have a team for negotiation. Is it better to come with a team? Or one-on-one negotiation? In which cases?
I would say, so one-on-one is okay. In a difficult negotiation, you need to come up with two. You need a so-called negotiator, so someone who is addressing the conflict, and you need someone who is focused on the relationship, on the big picture. Because under pressure, you end up in this so-called tunnel vision. You see only one topic, and then you don't see the big picture, and this is why you need a second one. And as a police negotiator, you never negotiate alone, because under pressure, you make mistakes.
And you also said very good that there is sales process and negotiation process.
Yeah.
So if we talk about the team, so sales guy, he is attractive, you know, he is good speaking, etc., etc. And then when he has to negotiate, so is it good for him to bring with him somebody who could be like this tough guy, or and just do not lose a relationship with you?
If the relationship, well, in other words, if the sales manager is able to switch the mindset from sales to negotiation, then they can continue. However, what we see very often, if you're a good sales manager, then you want to talk. Then you're good in presenting arguments, and then you fail, because the negotiation is completely different. It's about the conflict. It's about demand, not arguments.
All right, thanks. I read also several of your articles, and you mentioned that you should be confident, relax, do not get pressure. How to prepare for this? It's more psychology and trainings, not what is related to sales, or etc. It's more psychology. So what is your maybe advices how to be prepared? Because you have to release the stress even if it is very tough situation. So
it's stressful if you don't know what to do. If you have a clear plan, a master plan, then you can handle it easily. And you know, in the sales process, there is no need to make a decision right now. You can always wait for a couple of seconds. You can always say difficult. And from a psychologist perspective, you need just 3 seconds to rethink. So this is why saying difficult, counting to 3, then you can think, what should I do now? And that's enough. You need just 3 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah, it's really great. When you have 2 sides of negotiation, and there are 2 different vectors. Like one is says that, you know, sky is blue, another one is saying that sky is black. How you are helping in that situation that these vectors should go to the one direction? How you are just different opinions, like Ukraine, Russia, or it's another story maybe, but like different opinions.
So I can't. So number one, I can't convince them that the sky is blue or red or yellow or white. Because it's not possible. So I don't talk about the color. I talk about the common. There's a common sense about what do we have in common. So we need a solution, otherwise we wouldn't talk to each other. And then the big question is, if you don't reach an agreement, which party will benefit from the so-called disagreement? You mentioned Russia and Ukraine. There is no negotiation right now. There is no negotiation right now because the disagreement is so obvious, so important for all the parties, that right now there is no need to negotiate. It will change, I guess, in 3 or 4 weeks. Then
2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, from now on.
I read it at your also article that there are no negotiations.
It doesn't make sense right now.
And you also work with governments, with politics, and with countries from China to US, Fortune 500 companies. What what kind of mistakes the leaders do during the negotiation? You mentioned somewhere about Biden words, so wording, some red lines. What mistakes are mainly at the beginning of negotiation when you cannot go backwards already?
I think the biggest mistake, this is what we see. Politicians, they always come up with 3 scenarios: the best case, the worst case, and the highly likely case. And they always go for the highly likely case, which is wrong. You always need to prepare the worst case. And if you prepare the highly likely case, then you're surprised that your negotiation partner is that bad. And then you can't react anymore. Then you lost already the momentum. And this is what we try to do. We try to, we don't believe in win-win. We don't believe in a good outcome. Let's prepare the worst case, and then we start from them.
All right. Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for being here in Lithuania, for your presentation at Pardavimų Formulė. It was really nice to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.